China's going to push back a little bit. Look, the terms of that EU reference, which Australia is supporting and which the EU stole from Australia in terms of moving forward, is about an impartial, a comprehensive look at how the coronavirus started in China. Now, China's pushing back right now because it doesn't really want people running all over Wuhan trying to prove various conspiracy theories. The U.S. wants harder terms of reference. They want to know how this thing started. So Australia's got the right idea. They're interested in sort of an objective approach to how do we get into this thing and how do we avoid it in the future. The Americans, led by Trump, are looking for who's to blame for this. They're asking a completely different question. So interestingly, the Chinese are they're resisting a little bit, and the Americans are trying to change the terms of reference. What's China's reaction going to be? Well, as you know, the Chinese official in this country talked about tourism, students, and finance. Look, Pete, I think the Chinese are bluffing here because, frankly, they need Australia more than Australia needs them. The Chinese economy is tanking. They're going to have negative growth for the first time in 50 years, and they don't want to screw up a trading partner who provides all that coal and iron ore, which are the first two exports from this country. So I think they might talk rough. In fact, that conversation that they had about what they might do might be just to sort of settle down the million Chinese who are in this country to give them the kind of moral support. But I don't think much is going to come of it because right now there's nothing to be gained by them for pressing Australia against the wall because, Australia is a very faithful trading partner, if nothing else.
It's interesting in the last little bit too. 54 minutes ago, actually, Donald Trump has sledged the Obama administration. He says it turns out to be one of the most corrupt and incompetent in US history. I wonder if this is as a direct retaliation to the comments of Barack Obama on the weekend as he gave that speech to the class of 2020. While not directly referencing Donald Trump, it seemed pretty clear who he was talking about, which is something we haven't heard a lot of from Barack Obama until recent weeks.
Yeah, Obama's come back to life on this one. Look, Obama said to the graduates that there's no one in control and that people at the top who pretend to be in control don't know what they're doing. So what he's saying is that the Trump administration is responsible for the chaos and the tens of thousands of lives. He's made it very clear. Now, President Trump, of course, on the other hand, has all this unmasking business with Flynn. It turns out now that the FBI director, the CIA director, the intelligence director, and half of Obama's cabinet knew they were going after Trump before or in the beginning of the Mueller administration, that is the terms of reference. I mean, they were all in on it. And it's turning out, well, I hate conspiracy theories. It turns out that Trump and his pushing the deep state, that is, he's saying that people were gunning for him from the beginning to delegitimize his administration. What he's got is a prima facie case that there were a number of Americans in top places who were serving as keepers of the gate. And these are obviously people who wanted to thwart the president early on, or maybe even delegitimize the election. But he's got a case now to take to the people. And we know a couple of months ago he had no case. All he could say was they tried to impeach me, but it didn't work. Now he can go and say, look, they were coming after me, and I told you I was right all along. The thing is that while he thinks these people were out to undermine or to white hat his administration, they were actually doing their jobs. Now, these inspectors general that he's fired from the State Department, Intelligence Department, these guys aren't sitting around counting Tim Tams at tea time. They're looking at major corruption cases. They're looking at major attempts to subvert foreign governments. These guys are heavy hitters, and the president is firing them like he's swatting flies because they're getting too close. He wants to show his control. But look, this president is only about 6 points behind Joe Biden, who really has to sort of restamp his campaign because he can't stay in the basement forever.